What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for UFC 323, Dvalishvili versus Jan 2, and how crazy that this is the last pay-per-view ever. That is, if you live in America. I live in Australia, which means I think there's still going to be fucking pay-per-views here, but I'll find a way around it like I always do. But they're going out with a bang, I can't lie. Even though there's not a lot of, huge names on here, like there's no Pereira, there's no fucking Adesanya or Hamzat or John Jones or Islam. This is a hardcore fans card, you know? We've got 2 title fights, the main card is stacked. This is actually a good-ass card. I'm actually really looking forward to this card. But, with that being said, let's get into it and take a look at the main card. Opening up the main card, we have legendary Polish power Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Gushkov, aka Anthony Smith on paper. And I'm picking Jan Blachowicz in this fight. I know that Jan is kind of old. He's coming off a few losses. Seems like he's washed, but he actually hasn't looked that bad in his last couple of fights. And he's losing to guys like Pereira. And he went to a draw with Ankalaev as well and had a close fight with Carlos Ulberg, all of which were close decisions. I thought he arguably could have won against Ulberg. The Pereira fight, I thought Pereira won, but it was very close. And the Ankalaev fight, he arguably won that. I mean, he did a lot of damage to Ankalaev's leg kicks. Sorry, what am I saying? He damaged Ankalaev's legs with the kicks, I meant to say. And Bogdan Gushkov is still kind of untested. We don't really know how good he is. Yeah, he beat the shit out of Ryan Spann a while ago. That was pretty cool. But he just hasn't faced a guy like Jan Blachowicz, who's crafty as fuck, who can mix it in with the grappling as well. He's a really good striker and is defensively sound on the feet. I think he can outpoint Bogdan Gushkov to a decision. I do think maybe Bogdan will land some big shots and maybe crack him here and there, but I think Jan's going to take this one. I'm picking Jan by 29-28 decision. Then on the card, we have Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Listen, guys, I think Peyton Talbot's going to be zesty, guys. Seriously, guys, I think he's making a music video with Frank Ocean, guys, as Henry Cejudo would probably say. I think I'm going to pick Peyton Talbot in this matchup, and I'll explain why. Yes, Peyton Talbot did get fraud checked, technically, by Raoni Barcelos earlier this year, but he has shown he's improved his wrestling since then. And let's not forget, Cejudo's getting up there in age. I mean, he's almost 40. Mate, you're 40 years of age! Although he hasn't looked bad in his last few fights, it's clear that he's slowing down, and while I don't think Peyton Talbot's going to knock him out, I do think he's good enough on the feet to kind of pick at him, land big enough shots, maybe cause a bit of damage, and win a decision based on damage. Henry Cejudo doesn't really wrestle all that much. Everyone talks about his Olympic wrestling, but how often does he really wrestle? I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but he doesn't wrestle all that much. He's become more of a striker. Even Khabib was like, brother, just wrestle. But yeah, Peyton's also showed an ability to stuff takedowns in his last fight. I know Felipe Lima isn't Cejudo, but I also think that the judges are going to be heavily on Peyton Talbot's favor. They want him to win. They don't want Cejudo to win this shit, since he's going to retire in his next fight. And they want to feed him to the young, upcoming prospect in Peyton Talbot. And yeah, I think Peyton Talbot's got the skills to get the job done. I think it'll be a close fight. I do think it's going to be very back and forth, and arguable robbery I can see, but I am picking Peyton Talbot to win by a split decision or a close 29-28 decision. And then moving on to the feature fight, we got Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. I've been back and forth on this one, but I think we're going to lean with Brandon Moreno just because I don't think Tatsuro Taira's striking is really that good. I mean, yeah, it looked improved in his last fight, but he fought a dude off the Contender Series, or a dude, I can't remember if he was off the Contender Series or barely ranked, but Brandon Moreno is a former champion who just beat Alejandro. No, sorry, didn't. He had a close fight with Pantoja. Fucking almost said he beat him for a minute. Fuck. But Pantoja's actually, unlike Cejudo, for example, Brandon Moreno's actually looked good. He's actually in his prime. And although there's some areas where I think maybe Tatsuro Taira can get him, I just don't trust Tatsuro Taira's striking. He is very hittable on the feet. We saw that in the Royval fight. I know Royval's longer and rangier than Moreno, but I think in the moments that it's standing, Moreno lets his hands go a lot, and I think he's just going to bust him up. I don't think he's going to finish Tatsuro Taira, but I can see him out damaging him to a decision. I can see Tatsuro Taira getting around on the grappling, but I think Brandon Moreno's grappling is good enough to get back to his feet, and I think he can stay out of danger. Like, even Pantoja had Moreno on some bad spots on the ground, and even then he was still able to get up. And we've seen how Pantoja's done his last few fights. He's gotten quite a few submissions recently, or even just dominations on the ground, and he wasn't able to do that to Moreno. Moreno has had the closest fight with him so far. So I think he's going to be able to create a lot of that success with Tatsuro Taira, who doesn't really have the striking or the power of someone like Pantoja. He may be a little more dangerous on the ground, or just as dangerous, but I just think, like I said, it's too much too soon for Tatsuro Taira. I just don't know how much he's improved since the Royval fight, which wasn't that long ago. It was 2 fights ago for him. I don't know how much he's improved for me to bank on him beating. So with that being said, I'm going with Brandon Moreno by unanimous decision, 29-28. And speaking of Pantoja, moving on to the co-main event, we have Alessandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van. And you know what? I'm going with Joshua Van. I know a lot of people, like, it's been kind of like, back and forth, but a few people are coming to the idea that Alexandre Pantoja is going to make easy work of Van. I really don't see that happening. Joshua Van's grappling and takedown defense is good, like really good, and his striking is phenomenal. Like, Pantoja's got decent striking, but it's nothing to write home about. He was having success on the feet with Kai Kara-France, but Kai Kara-France is an overhand merchant, and also he was worried about the threat of the takedown, so that also was on his mind. But Joshua Van just picked apart Brandon Royval for a lot of that fight. Yeah, it was competitive, but he had him bleeding like pretty early on in the fight. He's very reactive, and we saw how he decimated Bruno Silva. The only guy who did Bruno Silva like that was my boy Manel Cap. But Van's younger, he's faster, he's riding a lot of momentum right now. I mean, so is Pantoja, but I feel like his takedown defense will be a problem. I think this fight's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a clear win for either guy. I think it's going to be a war, honestly. I can see it playing out very similarly to the last Brandon Moreno fight Pantoja had with him. And I don't see either of them getting a finish. Like, I could see maybe Pantoja gets a submission, like if he wins. That's entirely possible. Joshua Van has been submitted at before. I don't really see Joshua Van TKOing or KOing Pantoja unless he's just miles ahead of him on the feet. But I do think he's going to hurt Pantoja at some point. Like, he's going to crack him, maybe drop him, probably not. But I do think as the fight goes on, he's going to build momentum because Pantoja does slow down in fights. I mean, he does catch a second wind and keeps going, but he has shown plenty of moments in fights where he slows down and gets tired because he's very explosive. And I feel like a guy like Joshua Van, who builds into fights, who builds momentum as it goes on, can definitely take advantage of that, especially on the feet. If he can keep the fight standing, I think he's going to pick Pantoja apart at certain moments. I do think Pantoja's power and his blitzes are going to be able to keep Joshua Van off him a little bit, but I also think Joshua Van can find his counters off of that. Like, this isn't Kai Kara-France, this isn't fucking Royval, this isn't goddamn, what's his name? Kai Asakura. Fuck, I forgot his name for a second. Joshua Van has, proven himself. He's good. Really good. I think he's definitely a future champion for sure. And I think Pantoja's going to have his hands full with him. I got to go with Joshua Van on this one. I just feel like he's the guy to get it done. He's young. He's got a good style to do it. He's hungry. Pantoja's getting up there in age. I know he's looked good in his last 2 fights, but he also fought Kai Asakura. And then Kai Kara-France coming off 1 win, who has 11 losses. So Joshua Van's definitely a step up from those guys, and even a step up from Royval, so he might even be better than Moreno. We don't know. I mean, we'll see, but I'm picking Joshua Van to win by a 48-47. Split or unanimous decision. I could see it being a split decision. I definitely think it's going to be a very close fight, but I am going with Joshua Van by decision. Hot take. And now, last but most certainly not least, we have the main event of the evening. Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr 2 for the bantamweight title. And yeah, I think you already know who I'm picking. I'm picking Merab Dvalishvili by unanimous decision. Maybe even, I could see him getting a finish. Some people have been saying maybe a finish from Merab, and I could honestly see that, but yeah. I love Petr. He's my Pookie. I literally have a shirt of Petr. You know how Bedtime has the Tai Tuivasa shirt? Well, I have the Petr shirt. I wear that every time there's a UFC card on. But yeah, Jan's not winning this shit. I love Jan. He's my Pookie, but I just don't think he has made the adjustments to be able to beat Merab. I think Merab's improved more since then. And even though he's younger than Merab, Petr Yan has physically declined. Like, against Marcus McGee, yeah, he looked alright, but he didn't look as great as he normally does. He had a close fight with Figueiredo. Fair enough, Figueiredo's pretty good. But even against Song Yadong, he started so slow. And he keeps getting injured. Like, he tore his groin against Song Yadong. He came into the first fight against Merab injured. Like, he tears his knee and shit. Like, he breaks... He's always getting injured. Whereas Merab is fighting constantly. He's always active. He probably does get a little bump and bruise here and there, but he's not constantly getting injured like Jan. And I also just think Jan's style doesn't match up. I just think his high guard and the way he has to, download the data just doesn't work well against a guy like Merab. He's just going to be coming at you from the beginning. Now, granted, I heard that Jan was injured going into the first fight. And I do think if he's not injured going to this one, the fight will be closer, like it is Petr Yan after all. I feel like he can have some moments, especially in the later rounds. Like if Sandhagen in the last fight was able to have moments against Merab, I feel like Yan, if he comes in healthy, can definitely have some moments. But I don't see it much more than that. I see Yan maybe wins a round, maybe 2 rounds. But I just think it's going to be another Merab masterclass. I don't see how it goes any different than this time. I think the only person that could beat Merab is potentially Umar in a rematch. And we'll see how Umar looks in his next fight. But yeah, I'm going with Merab Dvalishvili by, I'm going to say 49-46 decision. Maybe we'll see him versus Pantoja next, if Pantoja wins. But, I'm picking Van, so I don't know. But yeah, that's my prediction. Merab Dvalishvili by 49-46 decision. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a submission, but most likely a decision. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Hashtag all hail the Marlin Army. And obviously, I'm going to be doing my post-fight recap, but because this is the last pay-per-view of the year already, fuck, I've been doing this for a year now. I'm going to have to, I will be busy over the break because we've got 6 weeks until there's more pay-per-views, numbered events after this, which is crazy to think about. So I'm going to have to do my yearly recaps and all that. I'll be doing my pay-per-view ranking video and my predictions for next year and shit like that, and dream fights and you name it. But yeah, I'll get to you guys in my post-fight recap. But I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.